Arrow up.
So
Chair.
you want to make sure this one's checked. Is that
Info down.
Let's see. Switch speakers to include audio. Your computer sound settings. Switch speaker. Oh, that was weird. What was that all about? Yeah, oops. Hit the up arrow again. Okay, I'll keep looking. Yeah, that one. So where is it? I'm not seeing it. Come on, fine.
I'm going to go ahead and do the video.
Yeah,
It's right there.
Yeah, so click on that. But it should show you sharing it through Teams.
Okay. I'm ready.
So in Teams itself. Wait, why am I not seeing it? Oh, here it is.
That's it.
That's it. Okay, now you should. You want the mic on or off?
On.
Oh.
We start all over again.
You should be there. Yeah. So you're
Okay.
good.
All right. Welcome to the June safety meeting. Our vision, we will deliver the best customer experience with industry-leading safety, reliability, and innovation. What does it mean to you? John?
Safety, reliability, and innovation.
Yes.
Means to do the job the best you can. Be the best in the industry.
Okay. What about customer service? Is that part of it, maybe?
Yeah.
Okay. What about safety?
That's
Safety is a big part. What part do we play in achieving this vision? Excuse me?
The whole package.
The whole package. Tell me what the whole package is.
Safety,
Safety.
customer service.
Customer service, empathy. We all care about the people we transport. Overview, during today's meeting, we will be covering mobility device, securement, and we'll talk about blood-borne pathogens. We will refresh ourselves around the fundamental 4-point securement method, avoid distraction while securing, what are blood-borne pathogens, and avoiding exposure to blood-borne pathogens. We're going to start with mobility device. Now you have some paperwork in front of you. Most of the answer will come on the video, so just pay attention. All right, question number 1. What are the steps and technique of properly securing a mobility device? Now you have a sheet right next to you, this one right here. Let's talk about it. Let's just say we have the wheelchair and the client on board. Line them up on the track. What's the first thing we should do?
Isn't that the first thing that you just mentioned?
Yeah. So we already got them lined up.
Okay, yep.
We're gonna, okay, hold on. We're gonna tie it down. Explain to me tying down. What do we do first?
Front securement.
Outside rails,
Outside rail, front securements.
right. But I heard nothing in there, that video, about telling the client what we were doing.
That's why we're gonna talk about it. Okay? I know the video doesn't say a word, but that's why we're gonna do it. This is an exercise. We'll do it together. Second, what do we do second? Once we secure the front, outside, what's second?
Check the securement.
No, not yet.
At the back.
We just secured the first one,
Oh,
front.
okay, okay.
Inside, back.
Right.
okay? The back, inside, back.
Inside.
What's the third thing we should do?
Not yet.
Actually.
Now, what they
you should-
did,
I
what they
need-
did, which is kind of weird, is I noticed he took the
Yeah.
gear. He turned the gear on the
That's,
motor.
yeah, that's
We don't do
a,
that.
no, that's a power chair, but let's just stick with the wheelchair,
Okay,
okay?
like a manual.
So, right now, step 1, we secured the front on the outside track. Step 2, we secured the rear to the inside track. Okay, what's next? What's next?
Release the brakes.
Release the brakes.
And move the chair so that
Okay, we rock the chair back and forth.
the.
Where do we rock the chair? How do we rock it?
We grab the frame.
Isn't that only with the self-adjusting though?
Just the wheelchair.
No, but if you don't have the self-adjusting, you really don't have to play with the chair because you've already tightened them.
Well, we gotta do what it's self-adjusting with the wing nut, it don't matter. We still gotta rock the chair forward and backward until the slack is gone. And then
And it's best to do that on the wheels.
on the wheels,
Yeah.
not the handle.
Right.
The reason why we don't do it on the handle is why?
It could, in fact, it could move that passenger.
It could move the passenger back and forth,
Right,
which neck,
right.
okay? We do it on the wheel because of what?
Center.
It's the center of gravity,
Right.
okay? They're sitting down. Hold on, guys. so the step, so we covered, sorry guys, we covered securing the front outside, securing the back inside. We covered rocking the wheelchair back and forth. Okay, what's the next step?
Belts.
The belts. We have the shoulder belts, we have the lap belts, and we have the buckle. Where is the buckle supposed to be when you secure it?
Hip.
On the hip pocket. Okay. Now, when you're securing a wheelchair, the securement has to be at least what degrees? 45 degrees. Is anybody ever got what they call a yellow strap? Anybody? Everybody got one of this?
I.
And you got the blue strap, right? Some of you guys got the blue strap. Some of you guys got the yellow strap, correct? Okay. So everybody has one. Okay. A Bill? You don't have one? You don't have a blue strap or yellow? Pass that on, please. Yeah. Now I know a lot of passengers or clients, they want to tell you how you're going to secure their wheelchair or how they secure their power chair. Okay. But who's the captain? You. So do we listen to the client how they secure them?
You listen and then we explain why we have to do what we have to do. We don't just tell them,
Excellent.
screw you and do
Yeah.
what we do.
I like that. Explain to them about safety, why we secure it this way. Some of the wheelchair and scooter already has a belt on them, right?
Some of them.
And some of them, like power chair, they already have a securement on them. Makes it easy for us to do. Okay. Now let's talk about pre-trip. When we do our pre-trip on our securements, what do we look for? What do we look for on our securement?
Well, maybe that it's not broken.
Okay, how do we know that's not broken?
Yeah, you can pull up on it. I mean, if you've been doing it long enough, you can pull up on it and kind of see if it's going down properly.
Okay. And what else? What else we need to look for?
Screws in the bottom, but
Screws? The 4 screws in the bottom, good job. Now we know when it's missing 2 or 3 or even all the screws in the bottom, is your securement's gonna work properly? No. Okay. Also, some are missing the red handle, the red release. And sometimes the belt, it doesn't lock. It just freely just go back and forth. That's how you check these. Okay. Make sure the plunger works properly. This one doesn't have the wing nut to tighten up the wheelchair or scooter.
self-adjusting.
Self-adjusted, yes. Now, what about belts? What do we look for in the belts? What do we look for the belts? No cut or phrase. Okay. Also, we need to check the buckle. Make sure it locks and pull it and the release. Okay. All right. And I want to cover
At the wall. You
Yeah, the
really
wall.
need to-
this one right here.
Yeah, you need to put that in and pull on it.
Right. Well, the way you get a pull, when you put this on your track, make sure you don't pull it right here. Because when you pull it right here, this part here will come off if it's not secured properly, and then it's gonna hit the client. So check it right here. Okay? Now, I know a lot of people, they complain about their securement not properly put away. Okay? Some of us don't drive the same bus every day. And we find our securements like all just messed up and just put back in the bag. Make sure that when you folding your securement, just fold it nice and neatly, okay?
Easier to grab and find out.
Yes, and put it back in the bag, okay? Now, we know that our belt, we secured the client. What's the next step that we should do? Once we secure the floor securement, secure the belt on the client, what else should we do? Three.
Double check.
Double check. You gotta double check your securements. After you double check your securements, Mr. Stewart, what else do you do?
What did it?
Call it in. This is bust in 1090. Wheelchair secured, double check. We gotta call it in. That way you don't forget. If you're distracted, what should you do?
Start over.
Start over. Okay?
Go through all the steps, Art.
Go all through the step.
It's too important not to.
Right.
Okay, right here, we got the wheelchair securement. Four down, that's telling you the 4 down is the floor securements. That's a 1, 2, 3, and 4. And also the 3 round, that's 1, 2, and 3. That would be the belt, okay? Make sure, make sure that the buckle is on the hip pocket. If it's not on the hip pocket, what happened? Yeah, the shoulder belt can cut them on the neck. But the most important is, if it's not secured properly, they can slide off the wheelchair. And then, when you hard brake, moving forward, hard brake, the client tend to slide off the wheelchair. Okay, so then we have an incident. Okay.
Yeah, quick
Yes.
question. So according to that graph, you put the front straps first, 1 and 2?
1 and 2, always the front.
I thought it was always the back because
No.
in case of downhill.
Okay, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. But if you're on flat ground, this is the way you gotta secure it. 1, 2, 3, and 4, front and back. But now that's good you brought that back. We've been discussing that since this morning. If you're parked downhill,
Yes.
okay, you gotta make sure you secure the back first.
Yeah.
If you're parked uphill, make sure you secure the front first. That, just in case, if the wheelchair brakes, doesn't work, do yourself a favor. Downhill, secure back. Uphill, secure front.
Uphill would be the default anyway, do the
Yes,
front first.
right.
Yeah.
Okay? And, yeah,
Yeah, I've done the opposite, like, when I'm dropping somebody off, leaving those backs on if you're going down a little bit, just because you don't want them, some of those brakes don't work real well.
no, they don't. Now,
If
the
they're
other
not
thing,
tight.
too, that if your client's brake doesn't work, write it up. Because if you write it up, then we can send that, make sure that they get their wheelchair fixed, okay? I know sometimes faulty brakes can harm the client. It can also have you get an incident when things doesn't work right, okay? We discussed what do you do if you become distracted while securing, like you said. Start all over again.
Look at all the.
Look at all
go
your
through the video.
securements, double check it. Now we're gonna cover blood-borne pathogen. Now, since this COVID-19, we still drive with our gloves on, right? We still have our masks on, right? Okay, so of course, when you pick up and drop, and then you go to the station and get clean, right? Okay, good.
As we go through our workday, we touch a lot of surfaces, some of which might be contaminated. Millions of workers every day are at risk from contaminations called blood-borne pathogens. Blood-borne pathogens are present in infected human blood and certain other bodily fluids, and some of them carry potentially fatal diseases. No matter what kind of work you do, You should always be aware of the risk of exposure to blood-borne pathogens, because when you know the risk, you can take precautions. You can be exposed to a blood-borne pathogen by touching an infected person or their secretions, or you can be exposed by touching something that has been contaminated by an infected person. So how do you protect yourself? You have to understand that something can be contaminated and the infected organism may not be visible. For example, linens, tabletops, washrooms, door handles, anything that may have been used or touched by someone else can spread a dangerous germ or virus. When you come into contact with an infected surface, the organism can transfer to you. Once it is on your body, any body opening can allow this pathogen to enter your system. This includes your nose, mouth, eyes, other body openings, any mucous membranes, and any cuts, abrasions, or any other breaks in the skin. For example, if an infected person coughs or sneezes on a table which is not cleaned after use, and then you touch the table with your hands, the infection may now be on your hands. If you rub your eyes or eat anything, the infection can pass into your system. This can be prevented by following simple guidelines that will protect you from exposure. You don't know if someone with a contagious disease has touched the surface, so good hand washing is the first and most effective method to prevent spreading infections. Always treat blood, body fluids, broken skin, and mucous membranes as if they were infected, and use proper gloves before cleaning anything that may have been exposed. Wash your hands before putting on gloves and immediately after removing them. If soap and water is not available, you can use a waterless hand sanitizer. Never touch clean objects with contaminated gloves, and avoid touching your face, eyes, nose, or mouth until after you have washed your hands. Protect yourself from blood-borne pathogens. Use appropriate disinfecting agents and use proper hand washing techniques. Thanks for watching and have a safe day.
What are some precautionary measures to avoid the risk of blood-borne pathogen?
Wash your hands,
Wash your hands.
wear gloves,
What's that now?
wear gloves.
Wear gloves. Wear your mask. Anybody know what, if you're transporting a client, do you know if they have any type of disease?
You don't know,
No, you don't.
so you treat them like they do.
Yes, it's called universal precaution. Always assume they do, they have something, okay? I know a lot of you guys did sign the 100 reason why we call dispatch. I think most of you guys have, yeah, most of you. If you get a cut in your cut in your finger, you touch a person with saliva, drooping saliva on the belt, part of the like the shoulder belt. Can you get something? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. That's why we call dispatch. So let's say you forgot to pre-trip your bus, you don't have your first aid kit, doesn't have a bandage, okay, and you don't have gloves, you're putting yourself in a harm's way. So call dispatch and we'll make sure we deliver some bandages for you and gloves, okay? Also, blood-borne pathogen lives and breathes in a person. So, so if they sneeze in front of you, all that soft mucus, like your nose, your throat, your eyes, you might get infected with something. So, just be careful with that, okay? What are some of the transmission methods of blood-borne pathogen? Like I said, cut. What else?
Sneezing, coughing.
Sneezing and cough. Now we're gonna watch a couple of video. Please pay attention to video 1. Everybody see that?
Yeah, it's close.
Remind me.
We're gonna watch it again. How could you have prevented this? How could you avoid it?
Well, the car to the right had its brakes on.
Okay.
Stop, you know, that should have at least triggered your slow down.
Okay, cover your brakes, slow down,
Look ahead.
look ahead.
Just situational awareness.
Situational awareness, I like it. Look ahead 15 seconds. If you look 15 seconds, you want to see that tail light red, and that would signal you to cover your brake and slow down. Now, can you tell me about changing lane? Do we change lane at the intersection?
No.
No.
Was that an intersection? I couldn't
Yes, it
tell for
is.
sure. I was looking to the right and it
Because
seemed like it was,
that's the intersection, because that's a crosswalk.
it seemed like there was some building on the right though at that place. That's what I was looking for, because yeah, you don't change lanes at an intersection.
I'm gonna play it one more time.
Yeah. Yeah, right there.
Right
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's sort of a driveway
Okay.
there. Is that a road there behind the vehicle or?
This is one way. This is here's the intersection right here. It's like a driveway.
Like a driveway,
It's
yeah.
still, you know,
Yeah.
crosswalk, and there's another crosswalk there, so we never
Bad
change.
place to change lanes, in
Right,
other words,
yeah. It's unsafe to change lanes in the intersection.
Yeah.
And changing lanes, is that voluntary?
Yes,
Yes, it is. So,
and you want 3 points of before you change them, at least.
and there's pedestrian on a bicyclist.
Yeah.
It could have been
Too
Could have been a
much
tragic-
nighttime.
could have been a tragic accident, but that's as a professional driver, you have to adapt to everything on the road.
Even when it's dark, you have to tighten your awareness.
Tighten awareness and you're following distance. Now it should increase a lot more. Now, I also want to let you know, this is not a bus. This is just like an MV1, like a van. Now, if you're driving a bus, it's longer to stop. Okay, so just want to point that out there. Okay, we're gonna watch the next video.
Oh,
What company did that guy work for?
Is that why we don't have our cell phone in our pocket, somewhere we can reach it? Should be stowed away. Away from, if it forget to turn off the ringer or forget to shut it off, what's the first thing you do when your cell phone rings?
Ignore it,
What's that?
ignore it.
No, let's just think about what do you normally do?
if you're driving,
If
You're distracted.
you're driving,
turn it off.
you're distracted, right? And some people would probably grab it and see who's calling, okay?
If they don't like their job.
If they don't like their job, yeah. Now, the other thing too that I want to point out that is that I heard that when the system is down, I hear it on the radio, somebody will instruct drivers to use their cell phone as a GPS device. Now, you guys, if you value your job, you don't do it.
Well, you can get out of the seat and do it,
You can get off the seat and do it.
but
That means parking your bus in a safe location. Consult your phone out of the driver's seat and start, writing step by step how you're gonna get to one location, okay? But don't do it while you're driving. As you know, prohibited policies, procedure for MV, cell phone is prohibited. And the other thing too, where was he when he veered off to the right?
It was too close and behind that first car, the white car.
But where is he now? Where is
He's
the
on the
driver?
shoulder.
Shoulder. Is that a sidewalk?
No, that's the ditch.
Let's watch it one more time. Right there.
Sure, yeah.
Sidewalk.
wow.
It's one of those
Is that
flats.
us? Is that us?
No.
It's a different, yeah, I didn't think so.
Who walks at the sidewalk?
It is.
Pedestrian. Bicyclist, yes. That would have been a tragic. Just imagine you walking your kids, just having a nice stroll, and next you know, you never see your family again because of a cell phone. Cell phone is a distraction. And the other thing too, where's your hands supposed to be? Steering wheel. What is it? What's 10.3 and 9.2, right? Okay. Just make sure that you hold that steering wheel with both hands for better control. That's the end of that meeting, so make sure that you answer all the questions that you got. How is this that you're supposed to write down on the securements?
Just the 5 things.
Okay, never mind. I put it down here on this one. So.